MyMac Podcast 895. iMadOS.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac Podcast with the G-Men. Yes, we are back. We may have missed a week, but boy, it's so much more exhilarating when we suddenly appear the week after. Now, apparently, one of the G-Men has been predicting for a long time that what the iPad needs isn't half-hearted multitasking that requires more moves than a rugby player in the middle of a line-out, but a full-fledged floating window experience, kind of like every operating system on any large screen currently uses. Maybe, just maybe, that's coming true in the next version of iPadOS. We shall see. Guy, how the devil are you?
I'm doing just fine. This should frighten a lot of people. I have been left to my own devices for almost 10 days now.
It should frighten everybody who lives within a 50-mile radius of you.
Yeah, I think there was actually like an SOS put out for the Washington, D.C. area. Guy is left to his own devices, take shelter immediately, that kind of thing. Almost like a weather thing.
You got one of those sirens, that goes... Yeah.
Well, as I explained, I think the last time that we got together, Tracy has been away. She has been out visiting her mom so that her sister can go down and see her new little grandson.
Cool.
And but she's coming back tonight. So I've been frantically sweeping away pizza boxes.
Now, should he be called a Mac Budgie?
I don't know if he'll be a Mac user yet or not. Though I will say that if my nephew doesn't raise him to be a Mac user, I will disown him.
Yeah, well, so yeah, absolutely.
It's is there anything else that I could possibly do?
It's the only thing that you can do, really.
Yeah, really. But what I have been doing since Tracy's been gone is like trying to clean up all the crap all over the house, pizza boxes and takeout containers. And if I don't get it done, I'll be in big trouble. And actually,
you've not only have you got to clear them out of the house, you've got to clear them out of the bin in the local vicinity, so that
Tracy won't come home and go, lots of pizza boxes and Chinese food.
Why have we got 15 bags of rubbish this week, Guy?
Well,
we normally only have 2.
Well, actually, I'm kidding. The only non-home cooked food that I've eaten since Tracy's left was last night. I was on my way home from work and it was like, you know what? I want a pizza.
Damn it.
And not only did I want a pizza, damn it.
You went and got one.
I got possibly the worst pizza I could have gotten for myself. And Tracy hates this pizza, which is why I got it. It's from Little Caesars, which used to be like so bottom of the barrel. But they've gotten
so you aimed high then, did you? You aimed high with your pizza choosing.
I did not aim high.
No.
It was like the gun is pointed toward the ground and it's not coming up. So I got some Little Caesars pizza and had that was my dinner last night, and there's still 2 pieces left. And I don't know. I'm going to pick Tracy up tonight at around 9:10, 9:15. And when she gets home, she's probably going to be hungry because, number one, it's a 2-hour time difference between here and Boise, Idaho. And number two, I don't know what she's been eating, since she left Boise their time this morning. Now, when she went out there, I made sure that she had small water bottles.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? Trail mix.
Right. Yeah.
Some Almond Joys.
Probably a bit like Bombay mix.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's sweep it off the floor, sweep it off the floor. So I made sure that she had lots of stuff that she could pack into her carry-on so that she would have little things to eat. Because, I mean, honestly, they don't really give you food anymore on planes unless you're flying long distance.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So,
long are the days when you're doing a 45-minute trip across to Belgium and they got to stuff food down you.
Yeah. Come on.
45 minutes.
Get those steak and potatoes out there. We're landing in 15 minutes. And they gave you real cutlery, knives and forks.
Yes.
Nowadays, they cut it for you. If you get a meal on a plane, it's practically pureed. Okay, where you could eat it with a paper, not plastic, because you might like carve that into something dangerous. A paper straw, or they just pour it into a paper cup so that you can just well, here's your steak.
Actually, doesn't it come out of a tube out of the ceiling? You know,
it's like astronaut
dinner time.
No, it's like really, and we're going to get to the point in airline travel. You get on the plane, and to maximize the number of people, they strap you in with your legs dangling off the floor so that they can just, all right, we can get, you see, this is a plane that was originally designed for 100 people. With all these guys strapped in vertically, we can get probably 200 people. Maximize those profits.
Yeah, but actually, at the moment, there's something going the other. We're tangentially going off.
I know.
Course.
I don't even know how we got on.
Let's get back on course.
Okay. Well, I have
as the co-pilot said to the pilot,
"Get on with it." I have actually really been very, very busy since Tracy has left, and I'll tell you why. One of the things that I did, that besides, because I had 2 days where I was working from home, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So in between breaks from work, I got out the vacuum cleaner and I was vacuuming, and I took care of the guinea pig cage and, did all these things. But the big thing that I did was something that has needed to be done for a long time. I got the old computer desk that Guy used to use out of his room and moved it out, moved the bookcase to where that used to be, and then got Peter's bed that had been in our living room for like the last 2 months into Guy's room. So that's now like our guest room, or will be our guest room if anyone is like crazy enough to stay here overnight. But the reason why I had to do it now was that I love my wife, and that's
good. That's a good start.
That is an excellent start. She has enabled me to live the very best life that I possibly could, because left him, again, this is only after 10 days, but if I'd been left to my own devices, I never would have made it to 61. Never. It just would not have happened. But when it comes to things like we need to do ABC, she gets information paralysis, where she's like, okay, well, we need to do this, and then we need to do that, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. And it's all these A, B, C, D steps. And because she is like this incredible multitasker, if there's not like a whole series of things that you have to do at the same time, she gets paralyzed. She doesn't know what to do.
So what you're saying is she would be a good rugby player in a line-out?
Probably. She probably would be. Probably not in the leagues that you referee, but some other non kind of
Move on.
I'm going to move on. So all of the, but yeah, everything worked out, and she's going to come home, and it's going to be a big surprise. The computer desk is gone, and the bookcase,
and the house is still standing.
The house is still standing. All of the animals are mostly alive. Mostly.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Mostly. No, they're fine. They're fine. Mostly.
Cool. Well,
so
I've had a busy week. I've pretty much worked every day. Now, I'm only working, I'm being paid for for the 3 days, but for the other 2 days, I've been doing some voluntary work and some helping someone out. So pretty much full on this week. So done a lot on my Mac, as the room is generally taken up by my daughter because she uses this lovely 27-inch LG screen that I've got.
Nice.
And because it's got several outputs, it's got got two USB-C outputs. Oh no, it's got two HDMI outputs and
the monitor does.
The monitor and a USB-C output in terms of output input. She just comes in here and you can just plug in whichever computer you've got and log on. So she uses this screen in this room most of the week, but that eventually will disappear when they finally move out, which they will eventually.
I like that. I like the way you sounded kind of exasperated there for a minute. I love my daughter, but when she finally moves out. Anyway,
moving on.
His head.
He's nodding his head. Moving on. So yeah, little done on my Mac. It's all done on the phone and my watch and my iPad. Went for a long ride actually last weekend. We had friends. The reason we couldn't do Saturday last week was because we had friends round and we went on a big bike ride. So I've got to get into the routine of going back on a bike ride. I'm doing a rugby festival tomorrow. At Northampton Saints for a load of under 15s, and we've just been busy. And obviously, you was unable to do last Sunday for whatever reason. Doesn't matter.
Well, I went.
We don't have to go into it.
I went to see my son Guy and his girlfriend in Fredericksburg.
You see, your OCD is just kicking in.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, you are such a Sheldon. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Except I'm not as smart, which just means I'm completely useless.
Anyway, I think we should jump straight into this week's, which might be a slightly elongated because I haven't taken out last week's snippets. Okay, so Apple TV Plus have released a trailer for season 3 of For All Mankind. Apparently that's premiering on June 10th, so look out for that. How resilient will Apple's subscription services will be if a recession hits? Well, we shall see. It's pretty much how resilient will any subscription service be when the recession hits. I've got a feeling though, Apple's more recession-proof than a lot of companies.
Yeah, and remember that through each one of the recessions that either you've been through or I've been through, entertainment, television, was like one of the last things to go. Yeah, we would sit there. Do we really need food?
Nah.
There's a great movie coming on cable. I gotta watch that.
we've got quite a lot to get through, so we best move on.
Sorry.
Apple has released iOS 15.5 with enhancements to Apple Cash and Podcast app. More on the Apple Cash bit. Well, it's Apple Wallet really a little bit later because I noticed something which made me laugh. Apple has released macOS 12.4 with new podcast features. Really great. That's also got a separate studio display webcam fix. And we also saw Watch OS 8.6 and HomePod software 15.5 and tvOS 15.5 was delivered not last week, but during the week before. So this might be a little bit late. However, my wife is still waiting to update her iOS device, although it's only just appeared as a notification on her phone in the last 2 or 3 days, interestingly enough.
Really? That's odd.
Apple are now letting developers automatically charge for some subscription price increases. So watch your wallet. That's all I can say.
But to be fair, there's a lot of caveats with that. They can't raise it, I think, more than like 5%.
Yes.
So it's not like they can go, well, it was 99 cents a month, but now it's $10,000 a second.
A pricing increase cannot occur more than once per year and cannot exceed $5.50 of the subscription price, or $50 and 50% for an annual subscription. price.
Which still leaves lots of room for abuse.
There's quite a lot of room still. There's still quite a lot of room. Apple has unveiled new accessibility features coming this year: door detection, live captions, Apple Watch mirroring, and much more. I think the accessibility capabilities that Apple puts into many of their devices is what actually marks them from many other OSs, to be honest with you.
Well, they kind of set the standard for that.
Yeah, they do. They do. Apple has delayed plans for the return to office, the 3 days a week, masks required in common areas amid rising COVID cases. So I think Apple have put themselves into a bit of a COVID graphical up and down the mountain, shall we, shan't we? We should, we shouldn't, because they've not really handled that very well, if I'm totally honest with you.
And it doesn't matter what they do, employees will complain bitterly about it.
Oh, yeah. But I think they've got themselves into a bit of a silly loop, to be perfectly honest with you. See, the light here is going up and down, so I'm having to adjust my outside light. That's for people
watching. But only the people who watch us on YouTube will know that.
Absolutely. Atlanta retail employees accuse Apple of union busting, possibly breaking labor laws. We shall see how that carries on.
Yeah, but in the meantime, they were the ones that said they weren't going to take a vote. And I get a feeling that it's partially because they realized that they weren't going to win it. So by saying that they're going to drop the vote now, it gives them another 6 months before they do it again or can do it again. I think they just didn't want to have a loss. And I think that's what would have happened.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
Good points, though, Guy. Good points. Apple has released Swift Playgrounds 4.1 for the iPad and Mac. Apple has added live captions to iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Apparently, a week Tuesday ago. Normally do a week Tuesday coming, but I'm doing a week Tuesday ago. Does that work?
A go-go.
A go-go. Announced live captions are coming to iPhone, iPad, and Mac coming later this year. Meant primarily for the deaf and hard of hearing community. But of course, anyone can use the feature. So again, more accessibility stuff. I don't know if that's actually linked to the previous story that I got. It may be. I didn't check that. So slap on my wrist.
It's connected in that Apple is the company that does the most for accessibility.
Yes.
Not necessarily that they always get it right, and it's not necessarily that there isn't more they can do.
Yeah. Now, apparently, Apple are facing a lawsuit, and I know that you like these, Guy. After AirPods allegedly ruptured a child's eardrums with Amber Alert. Apple's AirPods ruptured the eardrums of a 12-year-old boy in 2020 when a loud Amber Alert was issued. We shall see where that goes. I've not heard any more on that one, actually, so I think that might be something which happens over the next few months.
Morning crab. Sorry, pardon me.
The Apple exec who left the company due to in-person work policy is now returning to Google. Was that the real reason he wanted to leave? I'll leave that in the air because that's my view. Prime Minister of Vietnam meets with Tim Cook in a bid to lure manufacturing businesses. This is part also of Apple putting out there that they want to spread their manufacturing risk. Let me put it that way.
What they should have done starting about 5 years ago.
Maybe. Apple's privacy, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, Guy.
It is.
As everybody listening to this podcast will mention.
When we have talked about this in the past, we have said, both of us, that we felt that Apple had too many eggs in one basket when it came to manufacturing.
Yeah.
So we did say that.
Yep, we did. We had the hindsight.
That's right. So everyone go back and listen to 615 shows to find out exactly where we did it. And I will give a woody to the first person that comes back and tells us which show that is, including a timestamp. Whoops.
I've got a feeling we're not going to hear from anybody, but
Probably not.
I'm prepared to be surprised. Apple has introduced new professional training with support to support the growing IT workforce. To help meet growing demand, Apple today, not today, but last week or possibly the week before, launched an updated professional training certification for IT support and management. Good on them. Apple chip supplier TSMC are looking to build a plant in Singapore to tackle the shortages. I'm sure by the time they've actually built the plant, the shortages may well be over.
Well, here's the thing. There is a lot of unused space right now in the various fabs that are around the world. So you don't necessarily have to start from scratch.
True. That's very true. Apple Music integration is coming to nearly all 2022 Audi models. Whoopee-doo.
Yeah, it's like, okay, hey, welcome to 2015, Audi.
Yeah.
So glad you could make it.
So glad you could join us. Okay, Apple responds to an open letter about improving usage and reputation of Final Cut Pro in the filmmaking industry. Okay, so I don't know if you remember back in April, a large group of Final Cut editors signed their name to an open letter asking Apple to do more to promote the use of the Final Cut in the TV and film industry, in addition to closing long-running feature requests. Apple have responded. The letter has read, the creative community has always been so important to us at Apple. Sorry, let me start that again.
I was going to say, I love the condescending nature of the way you started to read that. We care so very much.
Let me try that again then.
Okay.
The letter reads, the creative community has always been so important to us at Apple.
Oh.
We pledge that Apple is also adding new training products, expanding workshops, and setting up a consultation panel of experts. And the letter goes on, but anyway.
Oh my God, it's bringing a tear to my eyes. It's so heartfelt.
Apparently, a court isn't letting Apple off the hook for paying $300 million over a patent infringement. Apple will not get a third trial, receiving a $300 million verdict for patent infringement from Optis.
Does it say where the case was held?
I'm just. No. Do you want me to look?
Wait, I'm going to put on my psychic hat. East Texas.
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure. I think I'd have to look too deeply to try and find that.
It doesn't matter, but it's going to be East Texas.
But the legal battle started in 2019 when Optis and its affiliates sued Apple for infringing its patents on products compatible with 4G LTE. This includes the company's iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. As Optis patents are critical for the international LTE wireless standard, Gilstrap sentenced Apple a $506 million verdict last year. However, the jury didn't find evidence about Optis' duty to offer patent licenses on fair terms, so it scrapped the verdict. After the second trial, the jury found Apple guilty of patent infringement and awarded Optis a $300 million verdict against the tech giant. So it wasn't straightforward, that one, guy. It wasn't straightforward. Apple display supplier BOE, I'd never heard of them, may lose all iPhone 14 orders after trying to cheat. That's a little bit disingenuous, that headline. Although they did try and change something in the manufacturing and the chip. And apparently it was because they were finding issues. They weren't just trying to make it cheaper. They were actually finding issues of supply. So they decided upon themselves to make a change to Apple's design process. Probably not a good move.
No.
EU planning to force Apple to give developers access to all hardware and software features. Well done, EU. Yes, I'm sure that'll help my security. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, just because we don't do rumors, but I just like saying Ming Chi Kuo rumor.
Rumors.
A new HomePod model coming as soon as this year. Well, we'll see. The Times.
I heard that it's
12 seconds later.
12 seconds later. Apparently, Time 100 Most Influential People of 2022 features Tim Cook. Do you know? So what?
yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm checking my carrying pulse now.
It's gone up a beat, hasn't it?
I don't feel anything. My carrying pulse says that I'm dead.
Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth on this one, but apparently a woman dropped an Apple Watch at Disney World and then claims $40,000 in fraudulent credit card charges. She lost her Apple Watch Hermes on a ride at Walt Disney. Yeah. If you've listened to Mac and Forth this week, I think it was Barry who then said, yes, Goofy's had a complete dental treatment now.
Well, what Apple should do is tell her.
No, that's not going to do it.
Yeah, that's not going to. Anyway, we shall see about that. She dropped a watch. It was lost. Somebody basically made some fraudulent charges on the phone, which actually I didn't think it could once it left your skin.
It can't.
Unless you've got a really stupid password on it or passcode, which she may well have done. But even then, I thought you still had to have your phone in.
And you get notifications for each one of these purchases.
Yeah. So anyway, we shall see how that one goes. But
Jesus, people are just so stupid.
Apple
Wait, hold on. Mirror. Yes, that still stands.
People are so stupid. Apple ups the Apple Music subscription price for students in several countries. So if you're a student and you are, you are certainly in Australia, the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, New Zealand, India, South Africa, Indonesia, Israel, and Kenya, although it's not just those countries, your cost could be going up 50 cents. That's why they're allowing other app developers to increase their subscription costs so they could do it themselves.
Scooter. What?
I've just realised the previous story ties in with that. Oh dear.
God. 50 cents.
Excuse me. Hang on a minute. We are $149 to $199. It's quite a big increase. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, this is Apple talking. Oh dear, we can't increase our subscriptions, can we? We've got to put a new regulation in. That means we've got to tell everybody.
No, it's okay. It's perfectly legal now because we said it was.
Yes, and guess what? The Russian invasion of Ukraine has seen European smartphone shipments fall, but Apple's market has grown share. Now, that's not, now, some people go, well, maybe, because there's less overall sales, but that means they would have had to have held their sales in proportion. So,
it's just amazing how many people actually talk like that.
Especially on this show. It's incredible how many people I know
talk like this. I don't know why.
Yes, let me just move on. Apparently, Apple Music is now available as built-in audio player on Waze. They're doing a lot with that's Waze is Google, isn't it? Them and Google.
It uses Google Maps.
Google are like this, little finger holds, little finger holds.
And honestly, I prefer Waze over Apple Maps just because of some of the stuff that it does versus what Apple Maps sometimes doesn't do. But that's a topic for another day.
It is a topic for another day. I use Apple Maps all the time now. I don't use Waze, but there are reasons for that. Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference is going to kick off on the 6th of June with a keynote address. Whoopee-doo. I've not heard much
work.
Nice work. Nice work. I haven't heard much in the way of rumors, but, I'm not sure that we always do before the WWDC.
I'm sure there's going to be lots of hardware release just like every year.
Not. Apple is to expand its Cork campus in Ireland and hire up to 1,300 new employees. Well done, Cork.
Nice. I bet they'll go into the office.
Yeah.
Stupid California workers.
Apparently,
I don't want to go in the office.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
Apparently,
I
Apple
just
shipped.
pissed off California.
Will you let me finish? Thank you. Button it. Apple apparently shipped a £79 iPhone repair kit to fix a 1.1 ounce battery. That's green.
Heavy, too.
Apparently, the UK iOS app economy enjoys a record growth, supporting more than 440,000 jobs. And apparently, in America, it's over 2 million. There you go. 2.2 million, in fact, in America. Apple tax increases delayed until 2024 as the OECD says the global tax deal is behind schedule. So Apple tax increases in Ireland and elsewhere are expected to take effect in 2023, but now will likely be delayed until 2024 as a result of slow progress on agreeing a global digital tax deal. So that's good for us. And probably good for Apple.
You know why? Because most of the companies that are benefiting from having, like, giving all these big multinational corporations a tax break, they're like, no, we don't want to change this. Are you out of your mind?
You out of your mind?
You're crazy people.
Foxconn factory fiasco could leave Wisconsinites on the hook for $300 million. Did you hear this? For 5 years, Foxconn have promised and speculatively, I'm going to change the word, failed to build a much hyped, sprawling factory near Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. Now, the area's leaders may be saddled with the $300 million in bond repayments to the Taiwanese iPhone maker that had promised to repay. It's legalese. There's money that's been promised. It hasn't happened. Someone's got to pay it back. I don't think Wisconsinites will be very happy if that happens.
Well, and to be fair, trying to be fair to Foxconn, all of these deals were made before the pandemic. So the last 2 to 3 years, you can effectively just kind of go, well, there was no way anything was going to happen.
So if I was this Wisconsinite person dealing with this, I'd say
delay the bond issue.
Force majeure. It's a force majeure. Unforeseen. You've got to delay it or not pay it. There you go. Just employ me. I come cheap, as they always say.
Vaya con Dios.
Apple car self-driving expert takes talents to autonomous sensor firm after 6 months on the job. Apple has lost yet another member of the Project Titan team working on its ambitious plans for a fully self-driving electric car.
You mean the one that they've never said anything about?
Yes.
The one that they've never given any clue whatsoever as to what it's going to bad word be?
Yes. That one. Apparently, Apple has released a HomePod software 15.5.1 with fix for a bug that could cause music to stop playing. Disaster, especially if it's us. Epic Games.
You can't hear the G-men. Oh, my God.
This is your favorite, of course, isn't it? Now, I'm not sure which it is, but Epic Games says that the court, get this, guy, Epic Games has said the court, right, that damn court, well, they reached the wrong answer, guy, and made multiple legal errors in the Apple fight. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. In other words, it didn't go your way, so you're going to cry big buckets of tears, Tim McStupid, Sweeney. Tim McSweeney? Tim Idiot?
Tim the Enchanter. That's anyway. Apple Park WWDC viewing event for developers to include special tours of the Cafe Max, fitness center, and more. So this viewing event, is that for those people that actually go? Yes, it is. So on the first day of the Worldwide Developers Conference, a select number of developers will travel
Which does not include me.
or me, will travel to the Apple Park in Cupertino, California, to experience a special viewing event at Apple's ring-shaped campus. The June 6 event will include a viewing of the WWDC keynote and the platform's State of the Union, as previously announced, but attendees have also been informed about what the rest of the day will hold.
And it won't involve any actual Apple employees. They're all at home.
Right. What do you think about Apple possibly offering NFL Plus streaming service alongside its Sunday ticket package, Guy? Because I know that's quite big in the States.
It makes me nervous.
Okay, we'll move on then.
Actually, Tim Robertson, who was the owner and creator of this podcast, said a long time ago that eventually NFL games are going to be behind a paywall. And more I see signs of exactly that happening, and it does not make me happy.
Okay, so the thing is, I tend to agree with you with a little bit of a caveat. A lot of these big leagues and organizations will want to make sure that they maximize profit. And if they put everything behind a single paywall, that won't work, because what they're still trying to do, and this is where it's slightly different for you in America, and he may well have just been talking about America, is they will want to expand the audience. Now, putting it behind a paywall and trying to expand your audience doesn't work. However, in the States, where you've got lots of people who will probably pay anything because it is like soccer here in the UK, then they may well put it more behind a paywall. However, even with soccer here in the UK, it seems to me that it's more open, soccer that is, and available than ever it was when it went behind the Sky paywall. So I know where it's coming from, but I'm not sure it works, and I'm not sure that they will actually go down the full route. And that's NFL this week on the GMen. Yeah. The wallet app now supports Apple account cards on iOS 15.5. How long has that taken? That's amazing. It's taken that long. Surely it would have been the first thing they did.
It shouldn't have taken that long.
I've had my Standard Bank cards on there for, well, how long have I had I've had it for years. Almost 2 years, I would say. Possibly longer. Incredible. Apple increasing the starting pay for hourly workers to at least $22 per hour. Yaha. Wonder why that is, Guy. Wonder why that's come about. Apparently, Tim...
Greetings, Tim the Enchanter.
Wait,
Tim,
are we back talking about Epic again?
Yes. Epic CEO calls the App Store a disservice for developers and says Facebook is his metaverse ally. Ally.
Yeah.
Ally.
Way to pick your allies there, Tim.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Good job.
You silly boy.
Wanker.
Edit point. Tim Cook.
Not in this universe.
I'll start that again. Tim Cook supports his high school's band in Alabama with $100,000 donation. Good for him. Apple developer app updated ahead of WWDC 2022. Not a surprise. Apple Watch dominates the smartwatch market with 91.9% market share in North America, Guy. Is that a surprise? Apparently, the Formula One pilot Sebastian Vettel. He's not a pilot; he's a driver. What? Oh my word! Anyway, let me change it then. Formula One driver Sebastian Vettel chases thieves using the iPhone's Find My app.
Chase him in his car.
Well, if he'd been in his Formula One car. No way did they get away. That's all I can say.
No.
Is Apple prepping for a new family of airport Wi-Fi routers? Now, we don't normally do rumors that much, but actually I quite like this because I know that Carl does as well.
This whole show is like rumorlicious.
Rumalicious. Snot. It's fact. Hard fact. My house is all Apple AirPods, and I'd just like to know that they're actually keeping on top of the software. If they're going to bring new hardware out, then great. The rumor may have picked up on new hardware, but it may be that they're just working on new software updates for the current range of products. But I would love to see new Apple
but
Wi-Fi
that current
routers.
range of products is like 6 years old now, at least.
Yes, and it still works perfectly in my house. I move around.
No, that's not what I mean.
What do you mean then?
I have no idea what I mean. I'm just surprised. Not that it still works, and not that it still works well. That rumors of updates to it is somehow being twisted into, well, there must be new AirPods coming out, and that's the way that they speak.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, that is the end of Gaz's snippets. I do, however,
wrong one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you know, that's funny because I clicked in the exact position it should be, but I was on the wrong page.
Stand by, and we'll be right back.
Is that right?
No,
Okay.
that's not right.
Let me try another one.
No, that's not going to do it.
We're going to make some history together today.
Is that right? No. Okay, well, let me try this one. Anyway, I do have...
I don't have all my links.
Let's move on.
No. That's not it.
Anyway, I do have a Gaz's link.
Ooh.
And the Gaz's link just made me laugh because the headline is Microsoft are developing a low-cost Xbox streaming dongle that could rival Apple TV.
Welcome to 2014, Microsoft. This is like the Back to the Future. That's what we should have named this episode, Back to the Future.
Absolutely. Back to the future.
1.21 gigawatts.
Anyway, that's my link. And that's the end of the link. And that's the end of my snippet link. Blimey, that was a long section.
This is going to be a super long show this week. So everybody just kind of hold on to your hats. And actually, you know what? I'm going to lead from that right into stand by, because Gaz and I, we have a lot more stuff to talk about. So we'll be right back. That's not awkward at all. And welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of the MyMac.com podcast 895. And this week, now, you know, a couple of times during this episode, we have said that we don't really do rumors. And then we immediately started talking about rumors. So, what are we going to talk about at the beginning of the second part of the show? Rumors. It is. It's a complete and total mystery. But this one really, really intrigued me when I saw it, because I think both you and I have spoken about this in the past, and it's something that I think we can both agree is the direction that Apple needs to go with this particular product, and that is iPadOS. Now, don't get your hopes too high, Gaz, but WebKit, which is Apple's underlying engine for the Safari browser and all browsers in iOS, is adding some back-end support for freely resizable floating windows in the latest developer version. And before you get too excited about that, that's for WebKit. It is not built into iPadOS. Now, that means that there's no guarantee that this means a new multitasking environment for iPadOS, which is one of those things rumored, even though we don't do rumors, to be announced in June's WWDC, Worldwide Developers Conference. But Gaz, how long can the iPad languish in its kind of current in-between state between iOS and the Mac?
About another 4 years.
Another 4 years. Okay, well, good night, everybody. I guess we're done.
You want? Sorry, did you want a more expansive answer on that?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for one. Yeah.
Well, I think it is starting to struggle and show its age in terms of usability of OS. However, what did I say? 4 years?
Yeah,
did I say 4 years. Actually, I don't think it's far off in terms of not massive changes required for the OS, the Mac OS. They can make tweaks to it. The multitasking, I think, is getting better. But if you think it has come quite a long way over the 10 years, 12 years that it's been going.
It's
so it is. Yeah, I don't think that they will or can actually make any radical movements in the way that the OS changes on iPad. I'm not without
really like forcing. Yeah, and I'm saying this like it's a bad thing. Forcing developers to recode their apps to work within a new environment like this.
Anyway, from your question, I think there will be no major redevelopment of certainly the iPadOS, probably within the next 4 years. There will be lots of
anything like for this upcoming WWDC. Certainly.
I don't think. No, I think you'll see some tweaks, and I think you'll see lots of welcome tweaks, and there'll be bits which it can now do, which people are improvements on the current environment. But if you suddenly change the environment, you've got a lot of people that will then, I don't think they'll want to split iPadOS into pro and non-pro versions. They'll want to keep the consistency of iOS throughout. But there are some things which you can do on the iPad which you can't do on the phone for obvious reasons. It's a bigger screen.
Screen size is big.
And I really can't see that there's going to be major changes to that interface, but there will be tweaks and improvements in the way that you do multitasking, which, as we've just mentioned, is already much better than it used to be. And the fact that I mentioned to you at the start of the show that I haven't spent much time on MyMac is because I can do a lot of the stuff on the iPad. Now, actually, I've got the standard iPad, and I'm already starting to think, actually, I would prefer a slightly bigger screen so that I can do a little bit more work.
Well, you got a 9.7 or the
yeah. So I'm not sure there's going to be there will be definite tweaks and improvements and background changes to enable things moving forward. But that answer I gave you was a semi-serious answer from what I'm, not that I can see into the future, because if I could, I'd probably be making a lot more money, a little bit like Ming Chi Kuo. Rumors. So it was a semi-serious answer I gave you.
Now, where I kind of differ with you on this is that many of the signs are already
differ.
There. I know. How crazy is that? We have many of the current model iPads already have the same M1 processor that you see in the Mac Minis and the iMac and the portable line. And quite frankly, the user experience for multitasking, while it isn't difficult, is certainly not really super intuitive.
No, that's true.
And I think that for a lot of users, they just keep using it in the exact same way.
They've
always used it because they can't remember of the different ways, the different things that you have to do.
Yeah, but that's the point. Let's make a point.
Will you let me finish? No, sorry,
I know, because this is really key to what you're saying at that point. There are a lot of users now that are growing up with an iPad. and
Yes.
not with a computer. So their norm is the way that they use it on the iPad.
Yeah, but quite frankly, the multitasking environment in the iPadOS is not great. It just isn't.
That's what they're used to, and that's what I'm saying. There will be tweaks and improvements to that multitasking environment to make it better. And that means those people that are living and growing up with a pad rather than a Mac will just say, that's better now. That's better now. That's better now. And never move over. What you've got to remember is we come from a world where you use one of these things, one of these things that you put in your hand and you move it around the table. What on earth is that? Moving your hand on a device around the table that moves something on your screen that points at something. What is that? That's kind of the attitude you get from, the youngsters of today. Sorry to rain on your parade.
Do you think that one of the things that might be holding it back could be its effect on Mac sales?
No, I don't think so. I think Mac sales, because we've had this discussion in the past, and I think I went for a 5 to 10 year period of how Macs will hold up, and I'm talking 5 years ago, and I'd push that out even further now. I'd say it's probably 10 to 15 years that Mac sales are still, and the use of the Mac is still going to be, quite prominent for many years to come. I don't think Apple are worried about what they do in terms of moving people from one device to another. What they are more interested in is making sure that they keep a user experience to keep that person in the ecosphere. Because
in whatever ecosphere it is, that
in their ecosphere, in the Apple ecosphere. Yeah. So as long as they can keep, and if there are new devices which come along, people who tend to buy, this isn't always the case, I get it, but people who tend to buy Apple products tend to buy other Apple products, or they tend to continue to buy the Apple products. So I think that's what they're more interested in. And I don't think Apple are too worried about what it does to Mac sales, even though their Mac sales are probably still quite, profitable for them to continue with that process.
It's never been higher.
No. Absolutely. So
and a lot of it has to do with, especially over the last 2 years, with them moving from Intel to the M series processor.
Yeah. So,
and the last point I wanted to make was, as far as effect on Mac sales, is that Apple has never shied away from cannibalizing their own products with the products that they feel will be the eventual replacements for those products.
Yep, totally.
And that's something we kind of talked about last time we got together with the iPhone supplanting the iPods.
Yeah.
And sooner or later there will be something that makes the Mac much less important to Apple than it is now. And you could make the argument that that's already happened with iOS, as far as how much money it brings in. But the Mac,
I think it's a little bit like,
never shied away from being the platform that a lot of people prefer.
Yeah. It's a bit like having a base ingredient, though. It's not sexy, the Mac. Apple, I think for a period, tried to think that they could make the Mac sexy. And I think for a period, they probably did that, certainly with the MacBook Air. And I think that might have swayed too many people at Apple to think that they could really be sexy with the Mac lineup. And I don't think the Mac itself, any of them, is something that needs to be sexy, but it is a base ingredient to their core devices. And I go back to what I said before. I think probably 5 years ago, you probably thought that the Mac was going to disappear in 5 years. And if anybody can find that show that where Guy did it, I'm sure we'll give you a wooty, but we need the episode and a timestamp on that.
Yeah. That's going to happen.
But I seem to remember us having that discussion, and I think I pushed out a little bit further, but now I push it out even further than that. I honestly don't as a base product away. No, not for a long time.
Yeah,
not for a long time.
Even even if Apple made the iPadOS more like the Mac, I think that the Mac would still stick around. But one thing that changing the iPadOS to be more Mac-like would allow Apple to do is to have different types of products that fit within that ecosystem. So instead of having limiting your device to 12.9 inches, you could have a 14-inch or a 16-inch iPad along with a smart keyboard that has like a built-in trackpad and all the rest of that.
I wish I could remember the name of the company, but there used to be a company that would actually transpose or transform your MacBook Pro or your Mac into a touchscreen device. And if you remember, that was all it wasn't all the rage, but it was what a lot of people wanted to do. It didn't get a lot, but everybody knew about it and everybody used to talk about it because it made.
Yeah, well, it was at the Macworld Expo one year because.
But boy, was that a heavy device!
Some of the people that was doing that.
Yeah, but that was one heavy device to be able to do.
Yeah,
that. But Apple are kind of getting there off their own back now. I wish I could remember the name of that company.
I still don't see the Mac as a touchscreen device.
No, I don't. I don't see any laptop / desktop being a touchscreen device. I find it actually creating more problems in terms of RSI, and certainly looking at your screen, it's just a nightmare. It just doesn't work for me. I've tried it. Yes, I've tried it. Do you agree?
I do agree. And what
are you
am I
nodding?
doing?
Are you nodding your head?
There is so much head nodding going on here.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip. Okay, so I'm going to go for an iOS one. I heard one on a podcast, and I can't remember which podcast it was, so apologies to them. But this one I came across and thought it's a good one for people to remember. I don't know if you use macro on your camera on your iOS device, but actually I have set macro control to on in my settings. So you go into settings, go down to camera, scroll down and turn your macro control on. Now, what does that give you? What it does is it means when your phone flips into macro mode automatically, which is what it does if you haven't got this turned on, certainly. If you've got this turned on, you can then turn macro off because you may not want the macro to kick in every time you're coming up close to an item to take a picture. So what you'll get on your screen when you're taking the photograph is a little that little macro image, which is I think a little flower in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and then you can turn macro off and on from your screen when you're in a macro mode situation. Now, I think it was the Mac Geek Gab that I came across this other tip that I wanted to give.
Heard that's a good show.
I haven't. I heard it's gone downhill recently. Just kidding, Dave. Just kidding.
You're assuming that he listens to our show.
No. But there will be people on this show which will tell him. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I heard it on their show. And basically, when you sign on using the Apple ID and it gives some spurious email address. Well, I found this as well. Which websites and which apps have I signed in with my Apple ID? I can't remember. Yeah. So what you do is you go into your ID on the phone. You go under your name. You should see something called password and security. You click on password security. And then if you scroll down, I think, no. You don't have to scroll down that far. You basically, it's the first option there. It says apps using Apple ID. Click on that and it'll come up with all of the apps that you've got where you've used Apple ID to sign in. And incredibly, I've got more than I anticipated. Now, some of them I've done it, so I never have to go back there because I didn't want to give them a proper address. So that's good. But that's where you will find some of those apps that you've used the Apple ID to sign in with. And that is the end of a 2 iOS Apple Tip Week.
Great.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah, those boys over at Geek Gab, they really need to up their game a little bit.
Yeah, you'd think that with a name like Mac Geek Gab, that they would be a little more knowledgeable about the topics
Yeah,
that they
you'd
were
think
talking
that.
about.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I really hope Dave does not listen to this show.
No, I hope he does, because he would be laughing. Dave would be laughing.
Yeah, he does have a good sense of humor. He would have to. He would have to listen to this show. Okay. There was something I was going to say here, and it's now completely gone. We don't have any for pick's sake this week. However,
No.
what we do have is a timeout list of helpful Ukrainian donation sites, including the Ukrainian Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders. Please, 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 if you can, whatever you can spare, give to at least those two, the Ukrainian Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders, for all of the excellent work that they're doing under very, very difficult circumstances. And the GMen salute you. So, there was a service that I found as far as doing feedback goes. And now that I've said that, I really wish that I had written it down.
Is that feedback FWDBACK?
Well, that's one of them. No, I mean, as far as doing like reviews go,
Okay.
and it's got like podcast or pod something in its name. So go and find that and do a review. And if you do, if you find it, let me know what it is, because I don't remember. And I will create a special Woody.
Yes.
A special Woody for the person that finds the service that I saw
It would.
and didn't write down.
It'll be embossed with gold lettering.
Well, not actual gold, but
Well, it will. The
simulated
original,
electronic.
the original will be embossed with gold. When you scan it and then send it to the people, it will have the real gold embossed imagery that they will receive.
Yeah, I think Acorn can do that for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very, very good. So, Gaz,
Yes.
we have some feedback.
Do we?
We do. And do you know who it's from? Wait, use your psychic powers. I'm beaming it to you right now.
No, I've got no idea.
Oh, okay. I guess my psychic powers aren't quite what they ever really were. It's from Greg from North Carolina.
I don't believe it.
I know. He is our number one supporter when it comes to audio feedback.
He's like a metronome.
You know he's there. You know he's there. And thank you, Greg. Every single time. I love these. So here they are.
Either one of them would kill for a Nobel Peace Prize. Give the G-Men on the MyMac show.
And Nobel, of course, is spelled Nabc, silent C, LFY. Or maybe not.
What are you on?
Don't even bother looking for the G-Men on the IMDb. They're not there. They're only on the MyMac show.
That's right. That's the only place that you'll find us, thankfully.
Guy and gals want to remind their listeners that you should always borrow money from pessimists because they don't expect to get it back. They're the G-Men on the MyMac program.
I don't think there's many pessimists lending out money.
Well,
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Do you know how much automotive troubles can cost you nowadays? Make sure you've got your car's extended warranty. Please call us soon at this number.
Now we'll never know.
Embarrassing everyone else on the podcast network is not part of Guy and Gaz's job description. They do that for free. There's the GMen on the MyMac show.
One more.
As a public service message, Guy and Gaz would like everyone to know that essential oils are the ones used to fry onion rings, French fries, and chicken wings.
Yes.
All other oils are not essential.
Agreed.
Very good.
If
Thank
you cannot fry
Thank you, Greg.
chicken, it is not an essential oil.
No.
That is exactly how that works. All right. So, whoops, I keep hitting the microphone this week. If you would like to help support the show, you don't have to. We'll keep doing it anyway, but you can go to patreon.com/MacPettit. You can also go, is it there? I didn't hear it.
What?
There we go. Okay. You can also go.
Sorry. I just got interrupted by a text. And the good thing with Apple Ecosphere is the text will appear on all your devices. So as you said that, it popped up on my
Like
screen.
ping,
and
ping, ping, ping.
it was a text response that I've been waiting for. So I apologize for ignoring you then, guys.
For the lateness of the pettit.
Yes.
You can also help support the show by going to ko-fi.com/MacParrot as well. Thank you. As PayPal. You can pay a pal at PayPal. PayPal.me/MacParrot. Now, Gaz.
Yes.
Gaz.
What?
If people wanted to get a hold of you and say, why is this show so bloody long this week? How could they do that?
Easy, guys. Send an email to gazjz@mymac.com or on the Twitters, twitter.com/gazmazjz,
Guys.
MAZ, or both of us on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ. You can also send feedback to feedback@mymac.com. That's FWDBACK at mymac.com.
Guy says,
What does Guy say?
Wait, hold on. I screwed up. A
Well,
lot.
shut down.
I think that should be shut up, but
Guy was paid his 75 grand.
We know it was a guy. I like to go with Guy.
absolutely.
His name
And-
was Guy.
Yes, because
No
He's the
fool
guy.
one.
and
Oh, I heard it. I heard it in the background. It was there.
I thought I'd get away with it. Okay. Anyway, if people want,
An email from Guy.
how would they do it, Guy?
Oh, all you have to do is send that to Guy.
Get
Said like this at mymac.com or podcast at vertshark.com. You can also find all of the vids over on YouTube. If you go on over to YouTube and look up Vert Shark, you will then like, share, subscribe. No, that's 4. It's like, share, subscribe. Just 3. That's all you got to do. It's so easy to do that and subscribe to the. Why I don't know why I'm going.
You do laugh
to the
blubber at
Vert Shark,
times.
to the Vert Shark YouTube channel. You can find me over there on the Twitters. I am both Mac Parrots and Vert Shark over there on the Twitters. And what else? Vertshark.com is the website where you find all the odds and all the vids. And lastly, if like Greg, you want to call us, we have a number that you can do so. It's so very easy to use.
It's
one.
so easy to call the men. It's so easy call the GMen.
YMCA. Okay, no, I'm not going there. All you have to do is dial a 1 or a +1 outside of the United States, 703-436-9501. That number again is 1 or +1 outside the United States, 703-436-9501. Or if that 1 or the +1 at the beginning of the number is important because it comes later and apparently it's not important then, he says, over-explaining something. You can go right to the Skype app and just dial 703-436-9501. It's all you got to do. So easy. And you can be like Greg, be on this show as often as you want to, unless I miss the message and don't put you on. Sorry about that, Elisa. It was not on purpose. Took me 6 months to straighten that out. Here we are at the end of the show. Thank you. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us on the MyMac.com podcast. It is greatly, greatly appreciated that the fact that you download and listen, damn it, listen to the MyMac.com podcast. And Gaz, I think that we're good enough. I do. And I think we're smart enough. And, I didn't want to mention this, but Wilf did text me last week while the wife was gone, knowing that I would be able to read it. And it said, woof, 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 woof. But I translated that to doggone it, people like us.
Well, translate this.
No hand signals. No hand signals.
En Mac als iPad willen is niet alleen het deel, maar de droom vormt dat niemand een iPad zoals Mac wil. Guy.
Yes.
A cheeseburger walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." And
so you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on home and go home.